Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Tuesday. It's 10:21 p.m. Sorry once again, guys. Work schedule changed last second, so unfortunately I had to move my usual 7:30 time slot 2 weeks in a row. I know it sucks, but here we are. At least I made it before midnight this time, so cheers. Glad you guys can slowly start rolling in here, maybe. We'll see, but as you guys know at this point, you guys know how these live streams start off. Just show my pickups I read last week, all that good stuff. Fortunately, I pretty much, once again, worked every day, so a little behind on a couple of reads, so I'll get into the two I haven't had a chance to read yet. Leviathan #3, picked this up last week. They're 2 for 2 so far on the issues, so John Layman's been killing it, so I'm hoping this one's just as good, so we'll definitely put that on the read pile up here, so I can hopefully get that read before I go to sleep tonight. And then another one I really enjoyed, issue 1 of, Murder Falcon issue 2. So this first issue is absolutely hilarious. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Check out issue 1 if it's still in the stands, guys. This one's going to be good, I think. So definitely check out Murder Falcon. I can't remember if I showed this last week or the, if it's a new one or not. Because like I said, I kind of got the last 2 weeks kind of like in a row. But I did want to show up Dead Rabbit issue 2. Because I guess this and issue 1 are getting recalled because I guess there's a bar or something like that that is called Dead Rabbit, and they had the trademark of Dead Rabbit, so now Image has to pull all of these off the shelves. So issues 1 and 2, if you see them, swoop them up as fast as you can, because issue 1 was actually a legitimately good read. So I don't know if I want to read this one now. Because I'm sure it'll just branch into an issue 3 that might. I'm assuming they're just going to retitle it something else or try to get over the copyright thing, and eventually re-release issues 1 and 2, and then an issue 3 maybe. But nonetheless, I did see a lot of news about this one today. How obviously they didn't make a lot of issue 2 compared to 1. So if you guys see issue 2s especially, you might want to go ahead and just go pick them up if you see them in your shops. So the things I read, I talked a little bit about this one on Comic Core, but I just got to vent my disappointment a little bit on Uncanny X-Men #1 again. I love X-Men. I watched the '90s show from the very beginning up until the weird finish they had with the different animation and different voices. So I've been an X-Men fan for quite a while, let's just say. So to see an Uncanny X-Men issue 1 come out and it just be, I don't want to call it a bad read, but for $7.99, I think is what I paid for this one, and at least it's pretty chunky, so it's like 2 comics in one at least. Still a little disappointed. That being said, I do think there was a lot of potential for the team they put together. It's one big, massive team, but then again, that being said, it's called X-Men Disassembled Part 1, so I'm guessing they're eventually going to break up the team they put together for this. So, and it's got 3 writers on this thing, so hopefully at least out of the 3 writers, I think I trust Matthew Rosenberg the most, so we'll see. I'm going to keep picking this up because I think it's a weekly title for now, but if they go 4 issues and I'm not impressed, I'm definitely gonna drop this one quick. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I said on Comic Core, I really hope by the end of this whole thing that Jean Grey is the new team captain. Basically, I know Kitty's been doing her thing for a while now, and based on what happens in this, I don't know how much longer Kitty's going to be in charge of the X-Men. So I'm hoping Jean's next in line because she's waited way too long for that mantle. So there's that. Guess I'll need to put that. I don't want to read that one again, so I don't want to put that one in the read pile. Before I keep going, I do want to get into the chat because you guys are blowing it up. Comic G-Man was the first one in the chat. So what's going on, Comic G-Man? Brian Spaceboy 227, he posted some sort of brown unicorn horse, whatever that's supposed to be. Oh, okay, so I highlight it says racehorse. So there you go. Lex Luger horse face Lex, maybe. There. Thank you, Brian Spaceboy, for that. We've got the architect, Sam's Tangled Web. What's going on, Sam? If you guys want to know more about Sam, check out last Friday's Comic Core. He was kind of the guest on that / Bueller's roommate or something like that, whatever they had going on there. But he was in with Bueller. So that was very cool to have Sam's Tangled Web on the Comic Core. We've got Thanatos Comics in the chat. What's going on, Thanatos? He says sick hoodie, so thank you. Definitely wearing the Turtles hoodie for a reason that you guys will see shortly. We've got Jason Smith in the chat, so I got to say hi to Jason like I do in all these chats over and over again. So what's going on, Jason? We've got Chad from the Comic Core. Hashtag Dare to Defy. Somehow that is, if someone has a T-shirt that says Dare to Defy, I guess let me know and I'll get one ordered, I guess, at this point. So the CW, Dare to Defy. We got the Great Legend show, which big thanks to the Great Legend. I guess he had his live stream, which I caught the very end of as soon as I walked in my house. And he shot a my stream, not quite a bit, and I already got 15 viewers. So big thanks to Great Legend and the Comic Core chat for that matter. I saw someone already posted my video in the Comic Core chat, which there's like half the community is a member of the Comic Core chat now. I feel like, and if you're not already, let somebody know because you can join the Comic Core chat pretty easy apparently. So there we go. We got Double S Comics Reader. He says, "What up to Seawater19, aka Flexi Lexi?" So appreciate you coming in, Double S Comics Reader. Everybody's just saying hi to each other. And we've got Pages, Film, and Plastics. What's going on, man? Glad you can make it. We've got Brett Hess Art. I love having Brett Hess Art in the chat. Hopefully we can get him in on the Comic Core soon. I know Chad sent out the invite the end of last Friday, so I'd love to see Brett Hess bring some of his paintings and show up on the Comic Core channel sometime. We've got DS Comics. I do have to catch up this week. I had to work close Monday night as well at my store. So I do want to catch the No Faces chat on Bub's Comics channel, in which DS Comics is always a great contributor over there to that chat. We've got Simon Comics, one of the coolest Golden Age collections out there. Check out Simon Comics channel. Like, for his age, he has one of the most phenomenal comic collections I've ever seen. And he'll tell you anything ever about Joe Simon. He has awesome knowledge. So welcome to Simon Comics. Glad to have you in the chat. Hopefully I did not miss anybody. Oh, we got TJ Watson. What's going on, Slab Dragon? TJ Watson. Glad to have you, man. So, all right, back to what I read last week. My personal pick of the week, and I did say this on Comic Core, but if you guys did not see that, Fantastic Four #3. I was very happy with this one. This is kind of, I feel like the people, and I'm kind of including myself a little bit, the people who kind of, weren't too warm on issue 1. This is the issue I think we've been waiting for. We get the family back together. Even though there's dire circumstances like they're all used to, we get they're still popping quips. They're still having fun. They're still, busting Iceman's balls and making fun of Spider-Man. So if you guys like Fantastic Four at all, this is an excellent issue. I can't recommend this one enough. Easily my read of the week last week, Fantastic Four. So definitely give this book a read. Dan Slott's killing it. I'm glad he's bringing some of that magic he had over in Spider-Man into Fantastic Four. I know not everyone was a fan of his Spider-Man work, but if you didn't like Spider-Man and you kind of get into Fantastic Four, also check out his Silver Surfer work. I think that's one of his most underrated run is Dan Slott's Silver Surfer. Actually, I might pick up the omnibus of that if it's cheap this weekend. But yeah, Fantastic Four issue 3, easily my pick of the week. Also picked up Outer Darkness, another new John Layman title. The guy who did Chew. I wasn't too crazy about this issue 1. I like his other work so far better he's been putting out at Image. This one, I don't know. I think it just lost me early on. I might give this a reread to see what I really think. It seemed like, I could be wrong in synopsis because I was tired when I read it, but it seemed like, there's this captain and it's kind of like a Star Trek type environment, except like there's this big catch where I think ghosts are used to fuel their warp engines basically. So pretty weird and quirky book. Wouldn't expect any less from John Layman. So if you guys like a little bit of the weird, different in the science fiction realm, definitely check out Outer Darkness. Like I said, not for me, but I could see a lot of people in the community enjoying this read. Pick this up because I really like the game. But I got Life is Strange issue 1. Unfortunately, I can't say the comic was as good as the game. Maybe I just missed something, but I felt like absolutely nothing at all happened in this. They kind of just established the main character from the video game, the one that can kind of rewind time and that stuff. She is actually getting sick because the storyline, I don't know if you guys played Life is Strange, but basically it's like a 5-chapter storyline based game. So if you guys played the Walking Dead game, the good one, not the crappy one, it's like a chapter based game where it's more or less you can almost choose your own adventure that has kind of something to do with the finish of the game. Life is Strange is pretty much like that. But for some reason, they actually decided to make a comic sequel to a game where there's multiple endings. So in this one, she actually decides to let her friend live, and the town that the game takes place in basically get wrecked by a huge storm. So because of the repercussions from the game and that choice and that ending, the main character, I believe her name was Max, if I remember right, and the other main character is Chloe. Basically, Max let Chloe live in this universe or this storyline. And then Max is now getting sick. Her nose is bleeding. She's passing out toward the end of this issue. So the last panel was interesting, but the actual rest of this issue, they could have just hopped right into issue 2 and had the last page of issue 1 is issue 1 itself. Probably depends what happens in issue 2, I guess. But nonetheless, probably skip this one even if you like the game. Maybe you'll end up at a dollar bin one day, but maybe a trade will be good on that. Who knows? Some things are like that. And then the last pickup I had last week got Venom number 8. Once again, Donny Cates, he's still coming through with consistency. Overall, I like this. Probably the highlight of this book for me is where like there's just a little vial of Flash Thompson Venom somehow with his memory still retained in that. So when the Venoms merge and get bonded, we get to see Agent Venom come back. So I thought that was really cool because the Rick Remender Agent Venom storyline was really awesome. So when that happens in this book, it at least created a really cool moment. So definitely big shout out to Donny Cates and also shout out to Jeremy Edwards. So I kind of thought about poor Jeremy when I was looking at this cover because he's kind of the first one that brought to attention that that Donny Cates he might be a devil worshiper a little bit. And sure enough, we get this nice Venom cover with the that. So there you go. You were right, Jeremy, all along. So all right, let's see what we got going on in the chat, and then we'll get. Actually, I think I'm going to get into some unboxings next since we're almost to 20 viewers, and then we'll get into the antique shop pickups. So, like I said, I originally wasn't going to have this, but then I remembered I picked up all these books from antique shops in the last 2 days, and I got 2 boxes at my door before I went to work. So it's like I kind of have to have one. All right, we've got Who Dat Comic and Movies. What is going on, Who Dat? I know his New Orleans Saints are killing it, so he's got to be in a great mood because of football right now. We've got A Poor Man's Comics. What is going on, PMC? We've got Spidey Fan. We got a package from Spidey Fan coming up shortly, but glad you could make it into the chat, Spidey Fan. Let's see who else we got. And everyone's just saying hi to each other. All right. Brett Hess is asking if I read the first 2 issues of Dead Rabbit, I believe. Yeah, actually, I did read the first 2. I read issue 1. I should take that back. I just read issue 1. I'm going to read issue 2. Issue 1 was actually really good. It's kind of like if I remember right, because it's been a while since I read, I believe that is a retired hitman. He's just trying to, he's trying to make a regular living, but like him and his wife, like they're having trouble with funds. So he gets a job basically as a Walmart greeter because he's thinking about studying the place, trying to figure out a heist and, to rob their cash office basically. And instead he actually starts to kind of like the people there. And ends up just being a door greeter at Walmart is leaving. So that's where we start the book. And then he kind of uses that job to figure out like bad people in the world. And then he pursues the bad people and robs them instead. So that's how Bad Rabbit starts. It's pretty interesting. We got Catmon Strange in the chat. He says, awesome turtle hoodie. Thanks once again. So speaking of the, Spidey Fan says, awesome man would have actually came in faster, but was waiting for one person to pay their auction. Dang, that sucks, man. I hate when people don't pay their auctions right off the bat, but hey, gotta earn that money sometime, I guess. But since Spidey Fan's in the chat, we'll go ahead and start with his package here. So Spidey Fan had a huge celebration on his channel last week. He crossed that 700 subscriber mark, so big congratulations to Spidey Fan. Well deserved on those 700 subscribers. So what he decided to do, I thought was pretty cool. Instead of having a contest video or just one thing thanking the community, which he did basically have a thing thanking the community. He decided to have like a hangout / auction where he just had some books. He started at $1 just to give back to the community. So it was a really awesome idea. And when he gets to 800, he has the same thing. Definitely check out his live stream when he does that. But more or less, I got 2 cool auctions from him. Start off as $1 a piece. And the deal I got these, it's a phenomenal deal what I got here. For the price I paid. So I'll go ahead and start with the bottom of the stack and work my way up. And also Spidey Fan, he stole the idea from the Comic-Holics, I believe he said. So with every auction you won, you got to pick a random number, and a book was associated with that number. So since I won 2 auctions, the numbers I pulled, I got a Harley Quinn 25th anniversary special, issue 1 Jim Lee variant. So very cool Jim Lee variant cover there. So gotta love that. And that is on the actual bag. So Spidey Fan did not send me a defective book. It is a very nice quality book. So definitely wanted to say that. And then I believe, can't remember who did. Spidey Fan could probably correct me in the chat, but I know this is a variant of some sort of Elephant Man. So I haven't read this book, so I want to check this out. Very cool variant cover there, I believe. So I'll definitely be reading this. So I'll put that on my read pile up there. So thank you for throwing those in, Spidey. The first auction I won, and I got these for like basically less than cover price. I can't believe no one else was really bidding on these. I got this cool Josh Middleton variant cover for Aquaman number 10, and he actually sent it in a Mylar, so thank you for that. But just an awesome mirror cover right there. I can't get enough of these Josh Middleton B covers from DC right now. So just a very beautiful mirror cover there. I always try to pick those up when I can. And then an Aquaman number 19 was in there as well. So, and this is from the New 52 run, not the Rebirth run. So I think this is a key first appearance from a character coming up in the movie, if I remember correctly. And then Spidey Fan clarifies that Elephant Man is number 80, and it's an Addy Granoff cover, he says. So just in case you guys were wondering that. And then the next auction I won, I mean, this thing, I can't believe I got this I can't believe Spidey threw these up for the price, and I got them for the price. So, and Poor Man's is in the chat too. I know he's going to love this stack of Wonder Woman here. And he probably didn't. The only reason he probably didn't bid on these is because he got them all in 50-cent bins in those Chicago comic shops. So, got a huge stack of Wonder Woman Adam Hughes covers. So here's 168, and who doesn't love some Adam Hughes? So there's that. We've got 169, and I was actually trying to find these in like dollar bins myself too. And just when you see Hughes covers, you just pick them up. That's simple. Got 170. Oh, how annoyed Superman looks there with Lois and Wonder Woman chatting. They're probably talking about how goofy Superman is since they kind of both dated him. So yeah, that's the highlight of the cover for me, is just disappointed, annoyed Superman. So gotta love that one. Cool red cover there. 171. Havoc, isn't that the wrong universe? We've got 173. She's pretty mad from the previous cover there. 174. This one's actually a Jim Lee variant from the Joker's Last Laugh storyline. We got 175, but hey, who doesn't love some Jim Lee as well? We got 177. So the Girl Scout marks all happy at the bottom there. Gotta love that. We got 178. And Spidey pointed this out on his stream, and I mean, this is definitely probably the cover of the lot on 179. This is probably one of his best Wonder Woman covers, so absolutely love that one. I think that goes for a bit on eBay too. We've got 190. Like I said, I still can't believe the price I got these for too. I mean, it was, in my opinion, it was a steal at least. We got 191, 192. And I guess everybody's favorite that they're chatting about in the chat, we've got 193. So there you go, 193 with Wonder Woman in a very strange position there. So I guess he felt like doing something different that day, and DC's like, screw it, we'll just print it. So when this auction started to get a little interesting, Spidey Fan decided to make it more interesting. He's like, see what, if you bid it up like $10, I'll throw in 2 Turtles books because I know you like turtles. And if you bid it up $20 more, I'll throw in 2 more turtle books. So I'm like, well, since I got called out, I kind of had to respond. So I put in the bid, and Spidey Fan sent me some really cool books. So I got first off, I'll show these 2 variants. So we got TMNT 72 and then Turtles Universe 12. These 2, I don't know if they're like retailer variants or like 1 in 10, something like that. But nonetheless, these are some really cool variants. I don't know if this is a series they've done of these. I'd like to collect the rest of them if they're out there and about. So I'll definitely have to do some studying and see what else they got out there like these. But these are awesome. So thank you, Spidey Fan. These are great. These are right up my alley. So I'm actually trying to put these on the wall if I can find room. So there's those 2. And then this was this is a retailer incentive, I believe, as well for issue 74. So it's an awesome Raphael cover right there. So thought that was super cool. But he said something about a sketch. So you guys know me in sketches. Someone's like, you can get a sketch for such and such price. If it's a respectable price, I'm probably going to automatically bid. So Spidey Fan threw this in too. So I got a cool Kevin Eastman blank cover. Bell County Comic Con TMNT blank. So I don't know the exact issue number, but nonetheless, Kevin Eastman art for cheap. So definitely huge thanks to Spidey Fan for this lot. I mean, this was, to say the very least, this is awesome, man. So big thank you. So I put the link to the Spidey Fan's channel and a link below. So if I probably everyone enters, check them out. But if you haven't for some reason, check out Spidey Fan's channel. Nothing else. She'll have auctions where you can get cool things like this from time to time. So once again, this will definitely be going on my little sketch row I got going on over there in my room. So absolutely awesome. Very happy with this lot, especially since I paid a very nice price for all these. So big shout out to Spidey Fan. All right, let's see what we got going on in the chat. I see a lot of people throwing up the TMNT. Apparently, Jason's firing shots to somebody. Let's see what else we got. Brett Hess says, Addy Granoff rocks. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm glad I got a sketch from Addy Granoff in my book already. Simon Comics says, the Mylars make the 9.6 to 9.8 look like a 10.0 looking book. I agree. I think Alex the Comic Core is the one who said it. I'm sure maybe he ripped off the line from someone else, but he's the first one I heard say this. But it's just like, the Mylars, it's basically like HD, like you kind of stuff in regular polypropylene bags, standard definition, Mylars, full HD. And I guess E-Gerbers we can consider 4K. So there we go. All right, let's see what else we got. Spidey Fan says PMC has all the Hughes books. Yeah, he needs one or two. So, we got Wolf Blitz going on in chat. What is going on, Wolf Blitz? Count Von Strange says, dang, those are amazing. Spidey sent some awesome TMT sketch before, so it looks like he's got a sketch before from him too. So that's awesome. And you guys are kind of just seeing what else you need. And Spidey says Tom Whalen did the series for IDW. Yeah, actually, I think Black Friday, I'm hoping on in-stock trades they have a similar deal they had last year. I think a lot of the stuff was like up to 50% off. I'm hoping those IDW hardcovers hit that sale because hardcover number 2 just came back in print. So that's why I haven't got those hardcovers yet, because I would have got the first one and then not be able to read anything after that. Well, now they have like 1 through 4 on in-stock trades. So if they hit a sale, I'm probably just going to order all of them. So it's definitely on my read list, that's for sure. All right, before I get into this stuff, I want to do an unboxing from Pope Grimey. So Pope Grimey, the other day on Instagram, I saw that little thing turn blue, and I'm like, someone's actually messaging me on Instagram, and it's just Pope Grimey saying, like, I need your address. I'm like, uh-oh, I guess he's going to show up at my door with that steel chair finally. So I'm like, you know what? Don't sing it, bring it. So I gave my address, and then I just never heard anything back from there. Sure enough, I got this nice package along with Spidey Fan's package at my door today. So let's see what Spidey Fan, sorry. Let's see what Pope Grimey sent, because I have no idea what to expect in here. And at least unboxed Spidey Fans before work, just because I knew it'd cheer me up before going to work. But I wanted to save this for the actual live stream, so I'd have one kind of surprise would be like, ooh, look at this. Oh my God, I have this book. Awesome. So at least save one surprise for the live stream for myself. So all nice and packaged. So thank you for that, Pope. Just got to take off the painter's tape that the community loves so much. All right, let's get in here and see what we got. Because I think he said he'd try to at least send me the Witches, that 80 page that came. I think it's an 80 page. Basically, my store didn't get any, so I missed out on it completely. And actually, yep, there's the heavy book. First one I pull out. Witches Bad Egg Halloween Special. Thank you so much, Pope Grimey. I've been looking everywhere for this and couldn't find it. So now I can finally read this Witches Giant Size from the Halloween special. So we got some cool Snyder and Jock action going on here. Definitely putting that up in the read pile. So big thanks for that, man. Let's see what else he decided to throw in here. Looks like I'm going to owe him no matter what here. Oh, that's cool. We got a Batgirl foil 28. So one of my favorite foil. This is probably, in my opinion, the best foil cover. Well, maybe that Green Lantern one. that Mike McCone did. That one was really good, but this is a close first place for me too. So absolutely love that Batgirl foil. So thank you for that. We've got a Return of Wolverine #2. Actually, I think I do need to read this one, actually. So cool Steve McNiven art right there. I haven't read the issues with the glowy claws yet, so actually, read pile. Looks like we've got a virgin copy of Spider-Gwen. I'm guessing this is Ghost Spider #1. That's an awesome cover. Wow. I don't even know who did that one. I'm sure the chat can help me out there, but that is awesome. Thank you for that, man. And then the last one, we've got Sandman Universe Lucifer. So actually, I did need this one too. That's awesome, Grimey. Thank you so much for all this. So that's awesome. Can't wait to read that one as well because I haven't had a chance to get caught up on the Sandman Universe stuff. So once again, obviously he's going to be one of my 2 YouTubers of the week. Pope Grimey, his stuff's in the link below. Definitely sub him up. I think he's got like 230 some odd subscribers. So let's help him out. Get his subscriber count up. He's definitely earned it. And I know he will be he actually might be part of an auction tomorrow. And I don't know if they're having comics and cold ones for Thanksgiving, but usually every Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, they'd have comics and cold ones Thursday nights. We'll see if they do the Thanksgiving show. But I think I know JP from All About Comics was having an auction tomorrow at some point on his channel. So definitely check those guys out over there. We've got some more action in the chat. Looks like Comics Misexplained also got a Pope Grimey package, so that's cool. I definitely owe him now, so I'll have to try to put together something to send to Pope Grimey since now I have his address on that package. I can send him something back. So, all right. Comics Misexplained says, right, last thing I bought were special editions of Vapor Mana Pool. How about you? So at first I thought, I don't know if you guys are talking about like Magic the Gathering and Mana Pools. Comics Misexplained says, a bad egg is a good story. I'll have to look for that. Legend says, I got to read more Animal Man Volume 1. I still need to read issue 7. Yeah, because of work, man, I've kind of just been on video games and comics. I just have been frozen because of, as most of you know, I work retail, and this is like prime time, Super Bowl time for retail. Obviously, Black Friday's coming up. Thanksgiving's in a couple days. December speaks for itself. So unfortunately, I have to spend a little bit more time than I want at work. So dare to defy it, it won't die. So the hashtag keep rolling in. So hashtag dare to defy. I'm pretty sure if you search dare to defy with the number 2 and you search for videos posted today, hopefully my video will populate in that search. So Brian Spaceboy is asking if we're talking about the new 52 Animal Man. We're talking about the Grant Morrison run. We're co-reading that, and eventually we're going to do a review of it, probably on the either Legends or the Comic Core channel. But nonetheless, both the Morrison run and the Jeff Lemire Animal Man run from the new 52, highly recommended from me. All right, next up, I finally got a few things from Half Price Books this last week. I think most of the stuff was already in bins, but I just felt like buying a few things, but actually a couple things I didn't see previously that I don't know if, because usually if you guys look at the tags, sometimes you're at Half Price Books, usually there's the date they get put out. So I was looking for like November dates on the books. So that's usually how I track what I'm looking for, but I think they just stopped caring at this point and they're just cramming the stuff in. So I've been kind of in this funk at Half Price Books the last few weeks, trying to find good new stuff, but I just found a couple things. So I don't know if anyone remembers these Wizard Ace editions, but I actually found a couple of these for $1 a piece. I think they're about probably like $5 to $10 a piece on eBay if anyone's keeping track. But just for me, I love collecting those weird Wizard mail-aways just for nostalgic purposes. So I think once they kind of got out of the Wizard half gimmick that they had going on for like a better part of a decade, they started these Ace editions where they basically just reprint, the classics. Like, for instance, here you got Avengers #4, but they'd always have like this 90s-ified, like weird clear cover. So as you can see, this one's from John Cassaday, but really all the work Cassaday did, he did the Captain America, then it's like the King cover in the background there. So I always thought these are kind of cool. Shout out to the back cover too, because you see they're advertising the other ones, but you can pull this off and you can see the interiors of the plastic covers there. So I always thought these were pretty cool. I never really collected the Ace editions because they always charged a lot for them if you order them right from the magazine. I think they're like minimum $10, $15 a pop, especially when you start factoring shipping in there. So nonetheless, I was very happy to find these for $1 a piece because you never see the Ace editions. You see the 1/2 sometimes in the cheap bins, but the Ace editions, like I said, I think a lot of people were like me, didn't order them because of the price. So definitely cool to have that. And then they also had Fantastic Four, so definitely want to, especially since we got the Great Legend in the chat, we got to show off a little bit of Fantastic Four action. So this one reprints Fantastic Four 48. We got this beautiful Mike Wieringo cover. So at the time, I think I shouted it out either on my channel last week or maybe Comic Core, or maybe both. It was around the time that Fantastic Four 500 came out. So Mark Waid and Mark Wieringo were the creative team on that. So Mike Wieringo do the cover for this one. And you get to see, you know, the Silver Surfer on the outside, and then you see Galactus and the FF trying to protect a crushed Earth on the inside. So really cool cover there. So once again, pretty cool getting these Wizard Ace editions for $1 a pop. Trying not to get the old tape pull going on there. Luckily, it's a 90s plastic cover, so it'll just peel right back off most likely, but you don't want that goo on there. And wow, I just bent the heck out of that. Dang it. Good, that was not camera side. That's the one good thing about that. The whole plastic thing bent up and it didn't bend at all. So there's that. Here's an interesting one. I found a copy of Amalgam Comics Super Soldier issue 1. The only reason I picked this up is I think these came in packs. So if you guys are familiar with like the DC Universe logo variants, like they came in a pack, they printed too many that have like a different like non-barcode logo. These, I think, since it's technically half DC, half Marvel, they just left it blank. So yeah, instead of putting anything at all down there, they just left it blank, I guess. I think that's the origin of this. If anyone knows the origin of these blank barcodes otherwise, feel free to say something in the chat, because that's about the best idea I could come up with why it has a blank barcode. So nonetheless, Mark Waid, Dave Gibbons did the Captain America Superman merger during the DC versus Marvel, and I think it was 96 this came out. So picked that up just because I thought it was a cool little rarity. Got a couple 20-cent books too this week. Couldn't leave an issue of Chew in the 20-cent bin, so for 26 or 20 cents, I got Chew issue 39. So got that. And then continuing my Brian Boland Animal Man cover run, they had issue 63 for 20 cents. So got this weird fish creature. So thought that was cool. Definitely caught my eye as soon as I saw it in the bin. So gotta love some Brian Boland there. Couldn't leave this one laying for $1, even though it's technically cover price. Got another copy of Countdown to Infinite Crisis. I covered this on my channel about a month or so back. So if you guys want to know the wonderful story in this one, I think I reviewed it. I think I just showed off like all the Infinite Crisis and 52 run when I talked about this one. So once again, couldn't leave this one laying, especially with that beautiful Jim Lee drawn and Alex Ross painted cover there. And then poor Blue Beetle being held there. So kind of wish it was a second. I don't think I have a second print where you can they painted him Blue Beetle so you can actually see him. Wouldn't mind a copy of that eventually. I might have one laying around somewhere actually, but phenomenal read. Absolutely love it. So I decided to pick that up. Found a Red Hood and the Outlaws issue 1 for $1. So another one I couldn't leave laying in the bins, just because this is one of the ones I did not get when they did the whole rebirth thing. And then just because I'm a completionist for this run and I couldn't remember if I had it, I got a new X-Men Annual 2001. This is when they had the gimmick of the Sideways comic. So I think they only ran this. I don't know if they did it for all the annuals or just Uncanny X-Men and New X-Men. But nonetheless, just in case you guys didn't collect comics in 2001, Marvel tried this weird gimmick where you actually had to read the comic like this. So these covers are probably very damaged, I'm sure, in the long run. So the comic actually reads like that. So yeah, these are kind of super weird, actually. As you can see, just holding the comic, it gets kind of super floppy. So, but nonetheless, you got Grant Morrison, you got Lanil Yu on it. So definitely had to pick that up because I really do like that run. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, this is either the first appearance of Zorn or it's the one where Zorn joins the X-Men, which if you guys remember, Zorn actually turns out to be Magneto, so I don't know what relevance that holds. But I think, if I remember correctly, without looking anything up and on the spot, I'm pretty sure that is either the first or one of the very first appearances of Zorn on the X-Men team. So there's that. And before I get into my very last haul, because I still have one more, let's get into the chat one more time. Let's see what we got. DS Comics says the best acetate covers for the 90s are the 5-issue Alex Ross miniseries called Marvels. Yeah, those were very nice. I remember just wanting those for those acetate covers. TJ Watson agrees. Looks like DS sold a set 3 years ago, though. Yeah, if I remember right, DS is one of those guys, he sells his stuff and then gets these really awesome, like, pre-code horror slabs. So, yeah, he's got some excellent books out there. We got Gretzky9966 in the chase. Says he's got Strange Adventures 202 and 204 finally unboxed. Those are some awesome books, man. That early run of Strange Adventures has some good stuff, especially from Neil Adams and stuff, too, if I remember right. And we've got Mr. D in the chat. What is going on, Mr. D? Hashtag Snups. Even though none of us have used it for a long time. Every time because I think I met Mr. D through Snups. Every time I see him, I just think of the Snups craze like a year ago. So hashtag Snups, that goes out to you, Mr. D. Gets a laugh out of me every time at least. All right, so the last haul I got for the day. There's this antique shop I've been kind of keeping my eye on in the city here. And they haven't had a lot of comic books. Sometimes I can score on a couple Nintendo Powers or the rare video game in an antique shop. But it's near my comic shop downtown, so sometimes I'll just make the run down there, see what they got. 9 times out of 10, I leave with nothing. But they actually had a new vendor in. They brought in some dollar comic books. So I decided to get a nice, healthy stack from them. Nothing too special, in my opinion, in this, but sometimes I just like to buy a little extra from the antique shops. That way it shows that seller that, like, hey, I can bring my collection in and sell it. And, that way it kind of, number one, makes them replenish, but number two, they might bring in a little bit more. So just everything here was $1. So we've got Punisher number 44, and I do need to rebag these still. Got a cool Andy Kubert cover here. So usually if it's an artist I like on these Punishers, like a Jim Lee or the Kubert brothers, I'll definitely pick it up. So cool Andy Kubert artwork there. Big shout out to Reggie Simmons, IFBB Pro. Picked up this Savage Dragon number 3, and I'll show you why, because he covered this on his channel. And yeah, I kind of had to do the same thing and pick it up for that reason. It is a very early published art from J. Scott Campbell. So there is, I guess this was technically fan art at the time. So you get this cool J. Scott Campbell sketch of Savage Dragon in the back of the issue. He was credited as Jeffrey Scott at the time. So I think the only other artwork J. Scott Campbell had published before that in magazines and comics like this was a issue of Nintendo Power. I forget which one right now, but like I said, Reggie did a pretty good job covering that stuff on his channel. So once again, big shout out to Reggie for shouting this book out. I had no idea it was back there otherwise. Also shout out to Poor Man's Comics. Found this for $1. He actually gifted this to me several months back. Got the Olympians #1, some early Todd McFarlane art. So got some Todd McFarlane on that cover there. So found another copy, decided to pick it up for $1. So maybe think of Poor Man's Comics. I think this was a Loot Crate. Yeah, a special edition Loot Crate reprint. And I know this goes for a couple bucks on eBay too. But I am definitely not selling this going in the collection. We got a Brave and the Bold 28 reprint. Still bagged, never read, never opened. So got this for $1. Thought that was really nice. And I wish they do kind of more reprints like this where it's just strictly a reprint of the original cover, no extra crap on the edges or everything. I'm sure they probably changed the ads, but otherwise I think that's a pretty close reproduction. At least the cover's nice. Next up, I had to pick up some of their Avengers. So got Avengers 280. And I had an interesting chat with the clerk up front. As we know, last week we lost, the man Stan Lee. And she said, there are a few people buying, Iron Mans and Avengers out of this box just because Stan Lee passed away last week. So I just wonder, I'm not a real aftermarket follower and that type of stuff, but apparently, now people are buying these up for $1 just because Stan Lee created the characters. So I don't know in the long run how this is going to affect, our hobby and the ability to get stuff like this for $1. But just a random conversation that came up as, they're checking me out and that stuff at the register. And no, I got one of these in me tonight. Just let me take a sip of water first. It's a newsstand. So, newsstand copy of Avengers. Had to do it once. Next up, we got Star Wars issue 92. Really cool Bill Sienkiewicz painted cover, so couldn't leave that laying in there. So got cool Vader in the background with Luke painted at the bottom by Sienkiewicz. So thought that was really nice and awesome. Couldn't leave Batman laying either. Batman 443. Cool cover there. Usually if you see it, you get it for Batman and antique shops. This one's, I call it ticked off, as you can see there. We got a Batman 474. So very nice newsstand copy. I finally found a couple of copies of New Teen Titans or Tales of the Teen Titans in Indiana that Catherine Figures has not bought yet. So usually I don't see too many Perez Titans laying around. So shout out to Catherine Figures. We've got Tales of the Teen Titans issue 51. Cool George Perez work there. Followed by issue 52. And then 53. And I'm still, this is another one I'm still working on reading too. I got to read it before the DC stupid streaming app decides to add and subtract things at will. So I'm hoping, as long as that Titan show's on the air, that they'll keep putting these books out on their streaming service, because they're not as cool as like Marvel Unlimited, where everything's just there. I think they're going to add, but they're going to subtract too, like they're freaking Netflix or something. So there's that. We've got Iron Man 225. I think this is the start of Armor Wars, if I remember correctly. So really cool. Why is his name escaped me? Yeah, Bob Layton. So cool stuff there. Couldn't leave the Iron Man laying in. Here's the second copy of this I found this month, which it's a little beat up on the side right here, but for $1, couldn't leave this laying in there. Red Sonja #1 for $1. And newsstand. There you go again. So second copy I found of this month for cheap. Don't know if it's really worth anything anyway, but they actually had like almost this like whole run, like 1 through 15, I think. So not a huge Red Sonja fan, but gotta like the issue 1 at least. Got Power Girl issue 5, some Amanda Conner artwork. Definitely had to pick up some Amanda Conner Power Girl. Really want the issue 1 of this run, but I'll take issue 5 for now for $1. Got Amethyst Princess of Gem World at #1. I think this was kind of one of the last pre-Crisis #1s to come out at DC. I remember her in Crisis for like a couple panels at least. So definitely had to get that because it reminds me of Crisis, and it's my favorite read of all time. And then the last one of the night, we've got the Savage She-Hulk issue 21. So couldn't leave a Savage She-Hulk laying in the bids. I had a few Sensational She-Hulks, but I knew I already had those in the collection. So I left those for someone else to pick up for $1. So nonetheless, had to have Savage She-Hulk. Love that. All right. So that's all the books I've got to show tonight. Because I had to work, unfortunately, I didn't come up with like a, I guess I could come up with one subtopic real quick. Just Black Friday. Didn't know if anyone was getting anything special for Black Friday. Wanted to shout out any cool like local shops that were having sales. I know my shop here called Vintage Phoenix in Bloomington, Indiana. I think they're having like, if you spend $25, for every $25 you spend, you basically get $5 credit towards your next purchase. So basically, if you spend like $100, you get like $20 in gift cards to redeem and that stuff. Sorry, TJ. I didn't mean I'm not a fan of Red Sonja. I just don't actively read Red Sonja. So if you quizzed me on Red Sonja, I would fail big time. Other than that, I know like her first appearance was in Conan or something like that. So not saying I don't like the character. I just don't know that much about the character. I'm not familiar with Red Sonja. I know there's cool Adam Hughes covers and some probably Jenny Frison covers out there. Mr. D says, Red Sonja newsstand, why not? Are they still rebooting that movie? Most likely. Everything gets rebooted in comic form into a movie eventually. Gretzky says, Legend on the pre-orders, you get charged when it ships. I know when sometimes I do the Midtown stuff, and yeah, they usually charge, I can't remember, probably like $10 to $15. It's not too bad considering on most pros you get stuff 35% off typically. Gretzky says also he loves those old Batman books. Double S says you can't go wrong with Batman. Absolutely right. The Great Legend. I'll give you one more legend. Great Legend says, newsstand. That's an awesome newsstand. Poor man's agrees. Solid finds all around. We got some art germ quizzing going on. It says, what art germ book, Spidey? Drop a clue. Oh, Spidey Fan says, I picked up a killer art germ book today for a steal. We'll post in my next haul. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to check out Spidey Fan's next haul. Mr. D says there were only 2 vendors. One had comp prices and the other one had no clue. One had 26 books. So, it looks like Mr. D went to a show or a con, and there was one bad vendor and one vendor who was giving things away. So, hey, at least you had one good one. Sometimes that's all you can ask for. PMC says Graham Cracker Comics has a $30 short box. You can fill with anything from the 50-cent bins. That's an awesome sale, man. You can't go wrong with that. I know I could probably. It kind of sucks you'd be absorbing like a whole short box into your collection, because I know I got plenty of short boxes behind me already that, you know, I'm using the closet for like another row, which I'm probably, as you can see, if buying books at this rate, I'm probably going to need to add another row by January, unfortunately. And I only got one more shelf left to do so. So, yeah. Well, we got Comics with Bueller just joined us. He says, nice dollar pick. So I know Comics with Bueller. He loves him some budget pickup. So what's going on, Comics with Bueller? Glad you can make it, man. But yeah, nonetheless, we'll go ahead and wrap this up because unfortunately I do have to work at 7 a.m. in the morning. So that'll be fun to deal with. But yeah, just thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you guys have a great Black Friday, a phenomenal Thanksgiving. So probably won't see you guys again. So have a great Thanksgiving, guys. If you guys go out shopping on Black Friday, be nice to the people who are working on Black Friday. I can emphasize that enough. If something's sold out, don't blame the person who's helping you. Blame the company who ordered the stuff or put the stuff on sale. Or get it on Amazon. They have lots of sales. So that's if there's one message I have at the end of this video, it's be nice and respectful to people this weekend, because usually you get one story every Black Friday about some nut job busting a door or running over somebody or trampling somebody. It's just depressing. I hate the term doorbuster. Don't bust any doors. But nonetheless, you go out shopping in the Thanksgiving. Now, if you go out shopping Thanksgiving or Black Friday, just be nice and respectful to each other is all I'm saying. We got Brandon Stowinski joining us, so I got to say a quick shout out and hi to Brandon Stowinski. He says he'll be hitting up antique shops Friday when he goes out of state, so absolutely. But yeah, like Mr. D says, have a great Thanksgiving, and I will be signing off. So thank you guys. I had about 18 to 20 viewers in here, so see you guys probably Comic Core Friday. Maybe me and Chad can try to work out our Elseworlds review sometime this week. But other than that, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. And I wish all of you the best in your future endeavors.